Hey guys, so today we are looking at this old DELL 3585 Inspiron, and it's a number of years old, so I can't really remember when we bought it, but it's still in decent condition, good nick. But the battery has since stopped working, in the sense that if you take off the power, it probably switches off in a minute or two, so the battery is totally shot. And it only has 8 gig of RAM, so it's a little bit on the slow side. Not terribly, but I recently tried to install something and it needed 8 gig minimum, so I thought I would upgrade it. So this thing uses, what is it, DDR4 2666 megahertz RAM, and so the 3585 can go up to a maximum of 32 gig, which is 16 gig times 2, there's 2 slots inside. So I went ahead and got a 16 gig RAM, and I got a, they say it's original, I don't know, but that is replacement battery. This is what it looks like. It doesn't have a wire. This is the type that it's a, jeez, I knocked the camera, sorry. It's a pouch cell. There's 3 cells inside and a cable here that plugs in, which is inside. So let's see how this goes. This was just over 100 ringgit, like $20–30, and this was just under 100 ringgit, so 20-ish dollars. Not too bad. And so just thought I'd make a video of taking this apart. It's a bit of an older laptop, and maybe people would be starting to look at upgrading it to keep it going for a while more. This is just a phone holder, so if you have something like this, make sure you use spacers so the laptop sits flush. Right. Whenever working with these kind of things which has small screws, I always recommend just get a magnet to keep all your screws safe. To take a laptop apart, typically you need a decent set of screws, drivers, bits. This has everything, little Allen key hacks. It has Torx, it has triangle drives, star drives, split, flat, and a bunch of Torx and flats, of course. So for this you would need a very fine Phillips, and you'd also need a bunch of pry tools. We'll get into that later. You can get this sets online for really cheap. I mean, iFixit sells the properly pro sets, but you don't need that. So there are a number of screws on this laptop to be taken apart. There's 3 types, which we will look at in a while. Okay. So thus far, it's been these kind of screws. They are basically full thread and they are reasonably long. I think this is the last of it. Yep, so it's the same screw. See that? And after that, we have 2 very tiny ones, which is why the magnet makes it also important to be able to take care of it. It's not coming out. There we go. You can see how small this one is compared to the previous one. So this type goes into just a small plate underneath the shell. This thing typically goes all the way through to the forward half of the case, and this long ones actually hold the case together. These short ones actually hold in the CD drive, the same. So you slide out the CD drive here, and this one basically, so this one holds the CD drive in. It basically screws into here. It's a retaining tab, so it doesn't slide out. There's a plug here which plugs inside here. This one basically just screws into a little bit of a metal plate, which you will see later, to hold the case in place. So that's all the surface screws. There are 2 more screws on the side here, which hold the lip of the plastic below the CD drive, which is, these things are really tiny. If you lose them, I don't think your screw bag or miscellaneous screw box would have it unless you work on computers. They're so tiny. So just pile everything up on your magnet. And now there are 3 captive screws at the back. You will see markings on it because I basically have already opened this laptop before this to figure out what parts I needed, just to confirm. Because sometimes Dell laptops have 2 different types of battery cells, and so I've read online, so I just wanted to be sure. All right, so that's all 3. Captive screws basically are stuck inside. If I can find a photo, I'll throw it up. Basically, you have the head of the screw. The shank will have no threads, and that's the captive part, and just the tip of the screw will have threads. So it's meant to stay in the plastic. All right. So this, as with many laptops, are clipped together. So what you need to do is unclip it. My camera setup is not the best, but let's make the best of it. So basically you need to split it along this line. It is not along the side. It's between the top panel and this edge. If you can see here, if you have this laptop, you'll be able to see it clearly. You need to get something inside here to split it apart. And you do it on the opposite side of the CD-ROM. So this is the CD-ROM side. You would start splitting it open on this side. And let's see how I can get this into view. So this is the CD-ROM side. We're going to be working on this side. And this is where your pry tools come in. And you basically just need... Alright, so I try to start with plastic always. Basically just use your nail. Don't be afraid, it's not that hard. See, get that in there. Try. And once you got a split, use one of these things. They have, so there's two types you get. The really cheap ones will be just basically like a guitar plectrum, and there's no limit. So you could, I know the pros will probably do this a lot faster, but anyway, you could get it in there. But the risk of using something like this is if it slips, it could slip all the way in, right? So if you use these things, they have stoppers which stop you against the edge, and you less chance of you flipping in. So you just want to go around. Oof. Try and keep it in frame. There you go. Once you get it unclipped from one or two of the clips, you can basically just walk it through. Okay, walk this side out. Careful, there are circuits and all that right there, because the motherboard is mounted to this surface. So if you go too far in, you're going to be bumping into all the circuitry. The back is just a shell, which you'll see in a minute. So now that we've done this, alright, let's see if we can keep it in frame. Okay, good. So now we're going to flip it back up and take it apart. So you just lift it up. These are a little bit tricky, the clips along this line. So you start lifting from the opposite side. If it feels like it's catching, just check on your screws that there's nothing still holding it. All taken apart, all right, good. See, all right, the cover has come out. And so you see, as you're wedging your thing in here, you just got to be careful you're not going to bump into anything. If you go too far in, you're going to start knocking all your stuff. You've got little fine wires. Let's get this in a bit. You've got little fine wires here, which you could accidentally sever. You've got circuitry here. So yeah, just be careful. Inside here, it's empty. It's just a shell. A lot of grounding. And this is just sponge to support the hard drive. I've got solid state here as well. So, this is your battery. You can see it's already puffed up. And this is the RAM. So typically you put the larger RAM on the slot 1, and this is slot 2. So if you haven't done RAM before, don't worry. They have basically two clips here which are holding it in. You just pull them outward. So you just use your hand and it lifts up. So when you lift it, make sure you lift it with the plane. So it is currently upwards. So you just make it go out straight. And I am going to install it this way. So you can see there is a tab here, there's a slot here. So you need to make it match. And if you're buying RAM, make sure you follow the specifications. That's all it is, it just clips in like that. So I'm going to open this up for the first time. I hope it's supposed to be genuine. And it just comes like that, easy. Looks the same, doesn't it? except that this says /16. If you can focus there, it says /16 there, which is 16 gig, and this will say /8. So I'm going to just put this in like this. It always goes into the same, it's 45 degrees in, and just drop it down. That's it for the RAM. So now I've got 16 plus 8, I've got 24. For the battery now, this is the first time I am actually going to unscrew it because I did not do it previously. This battery is, geez, it doesn't look like it's a clip type. It looks like it's just pressed in. So I should be able to remove this. Okay, so that's out. And now just unscrew the screws. What kind of screws is it? It's the flat type. Okay, I'm going to keep this a little bit separate from the magnet pile because yeah, it should be alright. Okay, and so the battery in theory should lift off. Good. Ooh, it's very puffy. You all can see that. Puffy. It's like pillows. So, okay, so to remove this battery thing, you just basically just pull from gently, and then it just comes out one end. You pull from the other end, and it comes out just like that. Same plug. I'm very curious to see what the weight of these batteries are. So I have a scale off screen, and the original battery is 179 grams. Or 6.3 ounces. And the replacement battery is 176 grams, 6.2 ounces, very close. 4 grams difference, I think that's all right. So, all right, so to put this back, we basically just line this up, plug this in, make sure it goes all the way in, and the gap is even, just push. And once the tab's here, the gap here and the gap here is closed, that means you're in. So we just basically drop this back in to its position, like that. Grab its screws. These are plastic flanges, you want to call them that. We can always screw backwards before you screw forwards, if you know why. I've got the wrong size bit because it is wiggling. Let's see whether this sits better. Yep, it sits better, it doesn't wiggle. So always use the right size. So if you screw backwards, you basically find the thread. Then you can screw forwards. This, tighten this, and tighten this. All right. So now we have replaced the battery. I'm going to get a marker. Just write the date. Today is the 5th. I think this laptop lasted more than 5 years to date. So it's done pretty well for itself. Right, so I will need this bit again after this. So both RAMs are in, battery has been replaced, battery Y is not in yet. So let's just get that in there. And still not perfect, but let's see. Okay. Can't go anymore. Right, so all of that is that. Wires in, plugged in, 4 screws, and the 2 RAMs. All right, so these are captive screws, if you can see. They just sit over here. They just stay captive. Where's the other one? There's supposed to be 3 of them. One, the one is here, the last captive is inside here. So before I clip it all together, I'm just going to turn it on to see whether it's still working. Alright, battery should have some minimum charge in it. Let's see whether you can see what's going on. I see a light. Haha! Okay, so we've updated the BIOS. We need to go BIOS setup. It has detected memory change. Continue. All right, so let's see, can you see this now? Okay, so if you go to About PC, just wanted to show you, you can actually see that now it has recognized the RAM is 24 gig. And the battery now, by now, a normal one, the old battery would have shut down. I've got 41 minutes left of usage. I haven't charged it. This is right out of the box. So this is a AMD Ryzen 2500, 2 gigahertz. I really can't remember when we bought this. More than 5 years at least. Anyway, so at the time it was really good, really fast. Still going strong. And yeah, I find Dell laptops to be very, very durable. So let's shut the laptop down. Power. And we'll reassemble the back case. Okay, so close it up. Get the spaces, put it down. All right, so to, shucks, this whole thing's shifting. Just basically clip from the back. These things need to clip in. You will see these little tabs line up, and then basically just clip the whole thing together. Of course, not against the screen. And that's more or less it. Now you remember where your screws were. Let's do the captive screws first. As always, reverse thread, then forward thread. And I guess if you're a technician, having one of those fancy powered mini screwdrivers are great, but for the rest of us, I've never seen the benefit of that because you need to maintain batteries. There's a motor that can go bad. For me, I just keep this small case in my toolbox, and anytime I need something, I can execute a repair. Yeah, it may be a little tiny bit slower, but who cares? Oh, shucks. See, I forgot this. Okay. I need to remove this. Come on. Okay, because I forgot those two little flat screws, the ones that go underneath the CD-ROM. So let's get those sorted first. I know you could send it to the shop to get it done and all that, but isn't this a little bit more fun? Getting to see what's actually inside your machine. Satisfaction of doing it yourself. And as always, don't screw in 100%. Just get your threads in like 75%. Don't over tighten, because these are basically brass posts that are mounted in plastic. So in Malaysia we have this saying, cukup rasa, feels just enough. So it's by feel, and this is where getting kids to do stuff when they're young. And I remember taking the old car apart with my dad, and basically he would give me the wrench and my brother the wrench, and we'd tighten it up, and then we'd ask him, hey, is this tight enough? And then he would feel and say, too tight or too loose. And that's basically how you get a feel. It's a learned thing. It's not something that you can read in a book. your hand kind of becomes a torque wrench in the sense that, you know, for a bolt like this or an application like that, this is how it's supposed to feel. And for the longest time, before torque wrenches became not too expensive, that's how most of us on the home front actually repaired things. We did it to cukup rasa. And that's basically it, I think. Once you're done, oh shucks, once again. So you can see here, there's a little bit of a, not clipped yet. So just come around once again to see that everything is in, all good, and fire it up. So that's how you change the RAM and the battery on a Dell, what is it again? The 3853, I think. Anyway, I guess it's quite similar for most laptops, and yep, laptop's back in business, has more RAM, should be able to run a little bit of heavier load on software, memory-wise, and if we accidentally pull out the plug, the laptop is not going to just shut down right off the bat. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. Took a little bit extra time to explain the process because I see a lot of directions online are basically shorts and they don't go into the nitty-gritty detail of it. I dared to open this up because I've done a few in the past. If this is your first time, give it a go. Laptops should not be as intimidating as they're made out to be, and you should be fine. Right guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.